that, hi, this is episode 3 of our podcast, and today's topic is mental health. And we turned really fast around into our podcast room and started our podcast because we started casually talking about it. So it was such a perfect segue into today's topic about mental health. And it started with Sightless saying that he took a break from his stream yesterday, aka he canceled his stream yesterday for the first time in 9 months, which is a long time to not canceled a stream. And then you said that you were kind of coping a little bit with the streaming. And then you said, but yeah, it's been 5 to 7 streams per week for 9 months. That is crazy. Sometimes even more, because it's been 2 streams a day. 2 streams a day? How do you cope with that? Or I mean, maybe you don't, you know? Like that's a lot, Sightless. That is a lot. Sometimes 2 streams per day is a lot. Like I can't even like almost say anything else, because like that's so much. Life has been very stressful and it's been an escape for me. And I mean, that is very understandable. And I totally understand how that can be an escape, because I think that's what a lot of people are coming to Twitch for, or YouTube, or other streaming platforms, to take that little escape or take that little break from everyday life. But for me, it's very interesting that it's like, for me, it almost sounds like it's a double, you know? Like it's been a coping, it's been a way for you to escape your life, but maybe it's also been hard for you to then, you know, grasp it, if you understand what I mean. And also, nobody tell anything they don't want to tell, right? I try to talk very open right now, because I know some stuff, and you know that I know that you know that I know some stuff, so I don't want to like out anything, you know? So that's why I'm trying to talk very up here, so I'm not saying anything you don't want me to say. And nobody needs to feel forced to say anything, even though it's a topic about mental health. I don't want it to be a discussion of like, oh, look at me, I have this and I have this and I have this. I just want it to be a general discussion about mental health. I want it to be a positive discussion about mental health. So that's why I'm trying to like, you know, keep it here, if that makes sense. I used streams to escape when times were rough a few years ago. Helped me escape from reality. Exactly. But life is good now. And I think it can be very healthy. I definitely think trying to escape and taking that little break can be very, very healthy. I really do. But I also think it's also kind of important to figure out, not to figure out, but to make sure that it's not turning into a safety net, so it's harder for you to cope with reality, you know? I suffer from mental health. It's incredibly difficult. Yeah, it's become an addiction. And I also 100% see that feeling as well, Sightless. I really do. Because it is so much fun. Also by streaming yourself, it is super fun. But also hanging out in other streams as well is so much fun. And you get so much dopamine and like the happy feelings in your body that I can definitely see like the addiction part of it. how to make it fun, but not making it turning into something very, very addictive as well. I know that you know more about it, but I appreciate. Yes, no, of course. No. I do not want to say anything sightless. That's why I'm trying to just talk about what you are saying out loud, you know? But getting better, I think. I think that, let me read Laura's message first. I can only lurk. Lovely has helped my dad with an emergency. I hope everything is okay, Laura. He has a lot of medical issues. His gardener has pass cut through his landline and internet, and he doesn't have mobile. So I'm trying to get an engineer out urgently for him. Love you, though. Laura, I hope everything will work out. I know I probably can't do anything, but please let me know if I can help with anything. Or if you just need somewhere to vent and just like get it out of your system, vent in my DMs, and I can either answer or just like answer with love and hearts. But I hope that everything works out, Laura. I really do. It is not always so easy with everything. Also, I just want to say thank you so much for the follow. I see you. We have anonymous followers, and we also have our alerts off right now during our podcast time as well, because we usually have a lot of loud alerts in our streams. Which is why we also have this cute little hair. So welcome on in, enjoy. Feel free to hang, lurk. If you have an opinion or a discussion, please join. Feel free to join. Hi, Ken. Welcome on in. Welcome on in. I hope you're doing wonderful. I was basically living in what I used to be our dining room because I was living separate with my then wife. I slept, ate, and streamed in the same room, so it was rough. That sounds so rough. That sounds very rough. It sounds very difficult, and I also feel like that's also such a difficult thing for it being a like how isolating that has to feel if your whole life is inside one room, in both streaming, living, sleeping, everything. That I can only imagine what that can do to a mental health, like your mental health, to be honest. Hi Bishop, welcome on in. Happy Thursday. We are doing our episode 3 of our podcast right now. We are talking about mental health, so everyone just be aware of that, and welcome on in. I hope you're having a lovely day. But hey, it's a positive thing that I took a break. I think it's a amazing thing that you took a break, Sightless. I do not want to tell you what to do at all, but from a perspective that I think that we are really similar, Sightless, in a lot of ways. I really do. And the feeling of streaming 5 to 7 times a week, maybe more if you do twice a day, can be so heavy, and it can be so tough, and so it can like create such a bubble that will be maybe hard to break out of. But I at least want to encourage you to make a schedule that fits you, but also being able to take your time to also figuring out stuff outside of stream as well, figuring out life, because I think we all need to figure out life sometimes, you know. Hi Ken, I hope you're doing wonderful. Yes, hi Bishop, hello. Streaming is a lot more work than people think. It really is. Let me just say, anyone who needs it or does not need it, here's a big hug and some free love. Thank you so much, Ken. That's very nice. Streaming is streaming is absolutely more work than people think, and especially if you kind of want to try to not necessarily make it into a living and make it into a full-on career, like a full-time career, but just as a spare time thing and a side hustle, I guess, is still a lot of work. When I did my full-time job before I lost it and I did streaming, I felt like I had 2, maybe almost even 3 full-time jobs, because I wanted to try to make it into kind of like a side gig, you know? And it's streaming, it's editing, it's posting, it's figuring out how to post, when to post, where to post. There is so much more behind it. How to make a Discord, how to make it an active Discord. What can I do for new people to feel welcome? What can I do to make the community already here being welcomed? There is so much more behind the streaming and content creation than just. And I do this because it's a lot of work by streaming as well. So this is what I'm saying, just streaming, because it's a lot of work to stream as well, but there is also so much more work behind as well. You're doing a podcast? I am, Joshi. We are recording episode 3 right now. Tonight's topic is mental health, and it's a very so we are like having some topics and stuff like that. So I kind of love doing it, to be honest. I'm like a kid at Christmas before I go live because I know my friends will join, and when I'm done bouncing around like a kangaroo. I feel the same, and that's why I also kind of like say, oh, Joshi, thank you. I am not crying. I know it maybe sounds like I am crying. I can hear my voice is being really weird these couple of days. I am a little bit afraid that I might be becoming sick. Or I hope that it's just because I am going. No, what I hope it is that it's gone from me streaming fewer times a week until 5 times a week. Speaking of streaming 5 times a week, you know, since I lost my job, I decided I'm going to stream Monday to Friday, right? So I decided to stream more because I lost my job. And I think that I've said to myself that no, it's fine. My like everything's gonna go wonderful because I talk so much, I yap so much, I scream so much, I do so much. Like I'm like, this vocal cord has had so much practice in her lifetime, you know. But I actually think that this hopefully is not me being sick. It's just my vocal cords literally like, no, this is your voice is like, you're doing so much more. So I hope that that's what it is. It's just my vocal cords being a little like, you know, you've been doing a lot now, and not that I'm getting sick. So I promise I'm not crying. You can very easily see if I'm crying in my eyes, because if my eyes are getting red and it's like closer, that's when I cry. And I usually also let you guys know if I start crying. I'm sorry if I made you guys think I was crying, but I'm not crying, I promise. It's just my voice being hopefully just strained, but in worst case getting sick. Grim, still out walking, but I'm listening to this amazing podcast by an amazing friend. Thank you, Grim. I'm so proud of you walking. And can we I'm not gonna out Grim very much, but Grim has said it himself that he's been doing so much good now that he has started to do walks almost every day, and he said it both in this chat as well before, and that I think is such a good thing that we do for speaking of our mental health. It doesn't have to be a long walk, okay? It doesn't have to be a 2-hour walk. What usually I say is like you could be a short walk, but preferably in daylight. It doesn't have to be sunny, doesn't have to be a beautiful sunny day, but daylight. So it could basically rain, because you will still get that daylight in your head and your everything, you know. So it will still be there, kind of thing, you know. And it will like that. It will do a lot. So walking is such a wonderful thing. Let me see what Charlie said. Your streams are literally my Twitch app. I'm so glad you rated Brita so I could find your community. Brita has no idea the things she's done for us. No, I know. Brita is also such an amazing one, and she's also very good at making sure that we are also taking care of her. To be honest. So yes, so I 100% like that. Walk helps a lot. 100% walks helps a lot. But be kind to yourself, guys. Sometimes just getting out the door is celebration enough. And I think that's very important as well, that we don't need to make big achievements or big goals. Today I'm going to clean my entire house. Today I'm going to do everything. Because that, if you then don't feel like you are achieving all of the goals you set, that can maybe not make your mental health feel the best. So small goals. I got out of bed today. I took a walk today. I have made myself something to eat. I answered my friend's text message. Those short goals that is very achievable, but can also be that little push. You know, if you make a goal too easy, it can maybe go the other way. But if that goal is just the right push, but you also know that you can achieve it, I think is a perfect mixture of it. Hi Pound Cake, welcome on in, and I hope you're doing wonderful. And can I just say, one of my small happiness in everyday life is literally your guys' nicknames, because a lot of you have such funny and amazing nicknames. Pound Cake, Strawberry, Banshee Bunny, True Crime, like you guys, Grim Fire, like there's so many. Sightless, it's just a good pun of it. Like you guys have so much amazing nicknames. Yeah, and Nuke Touch as well, especially after when you nuke just come in sometimes and just literally just nuke touching stuff, and it's you know, and stuff like that. And watching from the bathroom, who came in earlier and said hello. It's such a funny nicknames, and it literally makes me so happy. It makes me giggle because it's just a fun little thing. And I really try to always find the happiness and joy in the little things in every day. And nicknames on Twitch is one of my favorite things. The little like hi Pound Cake, the little hi Nuki Touch, like the little things, it just makes me so happy. No, Pound Cake, don't apologize for everything. How are you doing? Please call me English lady, Nerky lady, Berkey lady. You call me whatever you want me to call you, and I will love you no matter what. Sorry, I'm back. No, don't be sorry. Welcome back, Laura. I had to have you on silent while on the phone. So no, Laura, you didn't miss anything. You are doing exactly what we're talking about. You're taking care of it. You are doing what you need to be doing. So please don't say sorry for anything. Life comes first. Real life comes first. Always. I've said that since day one of streaming. Sorry. It honestly is the best decision I've done, because honestly the past 6 months I've not really been doing self, so my mental health hit the bottom, and at a point where the feeling loneliness and isolation, those feelings eat you alive and make you a different person. And ever since I started with walking and changing the way I eat and sleep had made me a new person with more happiness. So it isn't slow improvement. And that's such a good thought process, and I think it's a very honest thought process, Grim, and I think it's a very true thought process as well. Me personally, I have watched so much movies and so much series, TV series, that I've had that feeling of, if one thing gets good, everything will be good. You know, that it's this, now one thing happened, so now everything will be good. So I had that expectation of, if one thing starts, everything will magically fix itself over a day. And the older I have become, the more I realize that it's a slow hill, and that hill both goes up and down. And seeing that improvement from maybe not even month to month, but maybe like half year, a year, couple of years, and seeing that improvement and growth, that is what makes it, at least for me, seeing like, you know what, I have grown and my mental health is amazing. and well, not amazing, but my mental health is getting better, and I can see that I'm growing and learning more about myself and my mental health as well. Even making your bed on a morning can be a big step if you're in a bad place, but it's still an achievement. Laura, I agree with this so much. So after I changed my webcam, because before I had it straight like here, so you like only saw like basically me, and when I pushed it further back, I also noticed that you will see the bed much more, because we don't live in a huge house, so I stream from the bedroom. And then I realized that I have to make the bed, because I didn't want the bed to be looking like I had just woken up, or I had like not, you know, basically just rolled out of bed. So I started to feel like, oh, I have to make the bed. And it's not a good job. You can clearly see this is not the best job, but I did it. And since now that I'm streaming Monday to Friday, I make the bed every day. And just coming in after the walk with the doggos, or literally after peeing, and just coming back in and see the bed being made, literally lifts my spirit. There is something so simple about making the bed, but coming in and just, because it for me, it just makes me like, it looks not cleaner, but it looks, I can't even, like, I don't know how to describe, but it gives that happy feeling that just looks like it's time to be maybe that's what it is. It's time to be awake, you know? And I love that so much. I see the lurk, guys, both Grim and Sightless. Thank you guys so much for being here. Enjoy your lurk. Please go take care of yourselves. Please, please, please. Of course, if you guys do want to hear the rest of the topic, it will be posted next Thursday on YouTube as well. So if you guys want to hear the rest of the topic, then that's where it is. But thank you guys so much for being vulnerable and open, and I appreciate that so much. I really do. Let me read. I came in late. I don't know the topic. The topic is huge. It's right here. So mental health. Let me know if I need to change the color, because I can tell. Maybe I tell the mental health is a little that you can't read it very well because it's white against like a beige color. So maybe we need to change the mental health text, because it might be a little hard to see. So please let me know if you want me to try and change that so it will be more visible. But I take 15 minutes outside to get away from my home. I sit on my porch. Oh, that sounds lovely. I'm 2 months PP. I am gonna guess postpartum, but please let me know if I'm wrong. And it helps me with my PPD. And then I'm gonna guess that's a postpartum depression. Please correct me if I'm wrong, Pound Cake. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Your streams are always so happy, and that brighten my day when my days are hard and I'm alone all day with Cupcake. And I think it's very, very important as well that, especially for you guys who have gotten little cupcakes or little baby babes, postpartum depression is a very real thing, and it's a very normal thing, and it happens to a lot of people. I am not talking from experience, but we had a lot about postpartum depression under my school time, because I am a child and youth worker, so we're learning the full go. And postpartum depression is a real thing, and it will gradually become better, but it always helps to talk about it, finding that small things that you do, Pound Cake. And also I will recommend finding maybe a baby group if there is something that around your area. If it's not, maybe make a baby group, because the feeling of being alone when you have just gotten a baby is a very isolating feeling, and especially if it's a first time mother as well. You can have 7 kids and still have postpartum, and it's equally real after the number 7th or after the 1st, by the way. But I absolutely always recommend a baby group, and because then it's very easy for me to say, oh, you're not alone, but I don't have a child. I haven't given birth. I haven't been through that. So, you know, that's just finding somebody else who is also a new mother. I think that can help a lot. My friend is called Funky Badgerbutt, and we love Funky Badgerbutt. This is the most amazing name ever. Mine isn't funny, mine just means something because my boy's initials in it. But I think that's also very nice, Charlie, because even though it might not be funny, when we learn what the LCK stand for me, it actually gives me a good feeling as well. Maybe not a funny feeling, but it gives me a good feeling, because for me, I know that there's people out there caring for their kids, like LCK, Charlie, and Pound Cake, and Momo, and Britta, and so many of you are trying your best and doing amazing, and that for me is really nice. I originally started out as Miss Macabre, but rebranded a couple of years ago to True Cramper. I also love Miss Macabre though. Miss Macabre is kind of awesome as well. The reason your voice sounds emotional and is on the end of tears is because it's very close and personal shop to you and will understand and feel too. No, I 100% agree that, Ken. It's probably also that as well, because mental health is such an important topic for me as well. But I promise I'm not on the verge of tears. I promise. It's just, I think my voice, I have had a little bit more strain and toll than what I thought it would do. Charlie in the middle, my boys either though. Yes. Like, no, thank you so much for the lurk, and thank you for being honest and open. I appreciate it. You're doing an amazing job. I'm so happy I got to talk about what I experienced with you here, but I have to go now. Please, Sightless, I hope you're doing amazing, and thank you for being here and being open and honest. It looks nicer, and they say tidy home, tidy mind. 100%. Tidy home, tidy mind really is, at least for me, it's very true. I noticed very quickly if it's a lot of chaos or if it's not the best cleanup crew around here. I get irritated. I have a shorter fuse. I 100% agree on tidy home, tidy mind. I was the same when I was in my previous situation, because in my bed in background of my stream, because I didn't want people thinking I was a messy cunt. I mean, we all can be some messy cunts, but it does something to you when you do make your bed. It's kind of hard to see sometimes. Okay, I will look into finding a better way for the topic to be visible, because I do see it on the screen that it's not the best visible. So I will find a way to make it look. Also, I see your stream streaks, guys. Thank you so much. I have them here, and I will write them afterwards and put them up on the wall. So thank you, Sino, and thank you, Laura, for the stream streaks. I appreciate it so much. Thank you. That's very kind. I'm off to work. See you in a little bit. I hope your ride to work will go wonderful. What is this word you're speaking of, Nurk? Wait, what word? Baby group? Or postpartum? Oh, PP postpartum? I look into some groups to join. Thank you. Huge love for a streamer who can touch on topics like this. Kudos, Boogie. Thank you. No, I definitely recommend recommend a baby group, because as I said, no matter how much I want to say, oh, you're not alone, you know, it's very easy for me to say it, but I haven't experienced, and I know especially for people with postpartum, it's the isolation feeling can be so big, and it's something else I think and have understood coming from other people with newborn babies compared to me, who's like, I've never given birth, I haven't had a newborn baby, I've held newborn babies, but I haven't given birth and like had a baby 24/7. And me having nieces and nephews are not the same thing, because I can literally do this at the end of the day, you know. So but Pound Cake, you are not alone. Postpartum is a really real thing. Postpartum depression is a real thing. So you are definitely not alone, and you are doing an amazing job. That's also important. You are doing amazing. You guys are doing an amazing jobs, and I've said it before and I will probably say it again. Especially us who maybe didn't have the best parents, even though I know I talked to my dad earlier, we have a great relationship now, but growing up it wasn't the best relationship. we kids, we notice. Yes, you guys are gonna do mistakes 100%, but we notice that you guys are trying. We can see it from a very early age, and we will see it for the rest of our lives that you guys are trying. So we know that you're trying, and it will take probably years before the kids can tell you, but we do appreciate every time you guys are trying. So just remember that. That includes you, Pound Cake, and everyone out there who has experienced postpartum now or have before. Banshee. Postpartum is a word that you call the also Pound Cake. If you're here, please correct, because I haven't explained postpartum in about 4 years now, so I might be a little rusty. So please correct me if I say something wrong. But it's a term for after birth, after you have given birth, and it can. So what happens is that obviously when you give birth, when you are pregnant and when you give birth, your body is in all the changes. A lot of hormones are happening because you're literally making a new human life in your belly. Well, not in your belly, but in your uterus, but let's just say belly. And when after you've given birth, those hormones doesn't just flop away, you know, they are still there. And it takes quite a while actually before you get over the postpartum. And you have also something called postpartum depression, which is I'm just Google it just so I won't say anything wrong, which is about a depression that occurs within a month of giving birth. So if it starts to happen after giving, either before or around a month after giving birth, it can be postpartum depression. And it is, if I have understood it correctly, it is the same kind of feelings of depression as normal, but usually the cause, and I'm doing this, is the hormones and everything happens in your body, and maybe not like previous trauma or childhood trauma. It's the hormones and everything that happens, you know, everything happens, and we make milk from our breast and that makes hormones. There's so much stuff happening after birth as well that is also doing a lot of our brain and hormones and feelings and everywhere, and it's just a mess, unfortunately. Over here in the UK, it's called prenatal and postnatal depression, and it's a very real thing. It's 100% a very real thing. We also call it what I would call it more of a postnatal, but we call it in Norwegian, it's a fødselsdepresjon, which is literally birth depression. If you want to translate it directly, fødsel, birth, depression, depression. So it literally translates to birth depression, which sounds a little moody, but it is a really, oh my god, I pressed the wrong button. Don't come for me. So yes, so that is the thing, and it's also luckily it's more talked about now, but it is, pro streamer 100%. Hello, 100%. But it's not talked about. It wasn't talked about that much. Luckily, it's being more talked about now, but it is still very sensitive, and it's still a taboo feeling for a lot of countries and a lot of people. So yes, and a lot of new mothers feel very strong emotions, and many feel like they can't rationalize them, which makes it worse. 100%, exactly. And it's also because of all the hormones, you can suddenly start crying of stuff, or you can laugh of stuff, and nothing makes sense. I think, as I said, I don't have a child, so I can't talk from my personal experience, but from what I have read, from what I've heard, and I'm trying to do use every knowledge I have. From what I understand, that also makes it harder, because you might not be sad but you are crying, or that little thing just feels like an explosion of emotions. So which, as Sino says, it makes it harder. And again, I'm gonna preference that you guys are not alone. If you have postpartum depression or postpartum right now, if you've had it, if you are scared of getting it, you are not alone. You are doing amazing. And also there is help. Baby groups, doctor, we have, I don't know if we have that a word of anywhere else, but we have like our own places that's for the kids. That's not a doctor, but it's like a place for just newborn kids and their family to go. So that's where they like get checkups, and not necessarily a doctor. I don't remember. I will find the word and then put it here if I remember it, but I will find it. So yes, I don't want to have a kid because it's hard nowadays. And that is also totally fair. You do not have to have kids, and you do not have to figure out that right now. And I think it's also 100% allowed to say, I don't want to have kids. And that also needs to be as normal as saying, I want kids. Yes, but yes, women and baby centers is probably what I'm looking for in the word. I just don't remember the name of it. But yes, like clinics, women and baby centers, places like this. And what I also want to do, I want to do a little bat for the men as well, because it has recently been studied on that, because they always taught that postpartum is only the women who will feel it, or the person who has given birth who will feel postpartum because of the hormones and everything like that. They have now done studies that men can also get postpartum depression. My dad talked to his psychologist, and they have talked about it after that study came out, and found that most likely my dad had postpartum depression after I was birthed, I guess, after I came into the world. And it got worse, and my mother probably had it as well. And then they moved out and separated when I was 6 days old. So literally 6 days, not weeks, 6 days. And that's probably also what makes it harder. And I also think that the depression lasted much longer because A, they didn't know that men could have it, and B, my mom was having that feeling of being alone because they separated. So it is a real thing, and I think it's important as well to know that this can also happen to men as well. It might be a little controversial, but postpartum depression is now studied on and can be at men as well. Yeah, my partner doesn't want kids either, and that is so important. If you are sure that you don't want kids, if you know for sure that that you don't want kids, you need to talk to your partner. Because if your partner wants kids and you don't want kids, it's so much more better, actually better and important to have that conversation at the beginning. I'm not saying the first date, right? But like, don't wait 7 years and then have the conversation. Because if you are together with a partner for 7 years and then that partner is, oh, I want children, I know I want children, and you are, I don't want children at all, it will be a much harder discussion, and maybe even much harder to leave each other. And then maybe it ends up with the person either giving birth to a child that they don't want, or that person who wants children ends up with not having children, and it will become so much resentment both between the partners and then maybe the child as well. So knowing what you and your partner wants to have and not to have, it's the most important conversation you guys can have, and it needs to be honest conversations. Nothing against people who do it, just not for me. No, but Laura, that is 100% true as well. It does not, you are not a bad person. You are not any less or any more or anything for wanting or not wanting kids. it's equally allowed to not wanting kids as it is to wanting kids. That's and as I'm very on the fence. I am sitting very on the fence. I don't know. I honestly don't know what I want. I have no idea. I can have one day where I'm like, oh, I want a baby, and the next day I can be like, no, thank you. I am very on the fence, and it's okay, you know, it's totally okay. But I love my nieces, my nephews and nieces, and I love them to death. I literally love them to death. I have said I can't imagine doing that and have own kids and love them more, because, you know, but I don't know if I want my own kids, but I love my nephews and niece, you know, so it's totally okay. I recently found a quote that I fully agree to, which roughly translate, me not trying to use Google Translate: we live in a strange world. Phones without keyboards, doors without door handles, people without brains, and relationship without emotions. I don't know what else to say except yes. I 100% agree on that, Corpse. And it can be very scary, I think, especially with social media. But especially with social media, it can be hard, because we can feel that connection, but it's not room to room or a physical touch or a physical present, and that can be both good and it can be dangerous as well, you know. So yeah, I 100% agree on what you said there, Corpse. My issue is I would love to be a parent one day, but bringing a child into today's world just doesn't seem fair to the child with how bad everything is. And I totally agree as well, Sino. That is also one of my issues as well. Do I want a child? Do I not want a child? And also, do I want the child to grow up? It's a scary world out there, and that's coming from me, who lives in a extremely relatively safe country as Norway. But it's still a scary world. There is so much happening and so much scary out in the world, and here as well in Norway, that like there's scary stuff happening here as well. And the question is, do I want to bring a child into that? And I think it's a very fair question, and I also think it's a very important question as well. Do I actually want to bring a child into this? As a lot of people probably have heard people say in movies or these TV shows or other stuff, the child doesn't choose to be born, you know? So it is a lifelong commitment. It really is. No matter how, if that child grows up to be 30, it's still a commitment. It's still your child, you know? So it's a huge commitment. Hi James, welcome on in. I don't have my alerts on right now. I see you though, James. I hope you're having a wonderful Thursday. We are gonna wrap our podcast up very soon because it's been 45 minutes. But I hope you're having a wonderful day, James, and I hope you are wonderful. If you want to jump into anything, please join a conversation if you want, and if you want to lurk and hang out, that's totally fine as well. At work, so I'm quietly lurking, but slay. Angel, have an amazing stream. Christina, thank you so much. I hope you are doing wonderful at your work and you're having a wonderful time at work as well. Or if you're not, at least you know it's Thursday and then Friday and then a weekend. So I figured I want to bring some crazy. Yeah, I have taken my precautions. I have taken my precautions to not make it crazy during the podcast. I have a brain sometimes. I'm exhausted and ready to be home. Oh, I believe that, James. I know that you've been having a rough time at work, James, and I'm so sorry that you're having a rough time at work. Having a rough time at work can do so much with your mental health and your feelings and emotions. So I am so sorry that you are exhausted. I'm so sorry you're having a hard time at work, and I really hope that it will turn around and it will be at least a little bit less exhausted, because that's one of the things with being an adult. A lot of us have to work for some way or another, and it does a lot to us by not enjoying our work time and not enjoying what we do 8 hours a day. That can do a lot of of stuff with our mental health and our brains and our generally mood as well. I understand that feeling of bringing a child into this crazy world. I think the idea to bring the next generation is good. I think the idea to bring the next generation is good, and watching a mini-me grow. The happiest moment is watching your child grow, but it's also the saddest moment. But all you can do is focus on the happiness they bring. 100%, James. I agree. It's very interesting because I agree on both sides. You know, I agree on both sides. And I think that, but what I do think is important that you are saying, James, I think that's a very good point, because for me, it shows that you have that motivation, you know? Yes, I'm not saying you necessarily wants to bring a child into the world, but having that kind of push and being like, yes, it can be scary to bring a child into this world and this crazy world, but there is so much good, and there is so much good stuff happening. There really is. There is a lot of good stuff happening in this world. What's very scary and very unfortunate is that social media, news articles, newspaper, everything goes so fast now, and unfortunately a lot of the time it's the negative that comes. It's war, it's shootings, it's SAs, is R words, it's all the negative and all the bullshit in this world, and all the sad stuff and all the crazy stuff and all the insane world, you know, that just can make, especially in an age and day where social media is so in our faces, it does something to us, and it does affect us. Maybe even if we are saying it doesn't affect us, I honestly believe it does affect us in one way or not. Sorry, I'm so fidgety. I have so much hair in my face. So it does affect us. I believe it affects us in ways I don't think we quite understand. I don't know if you guys have seen this person. I will do everything myself. Nurki, when you're editing this, find the person you're talking about right now and put him up here. There is this dude on TikTok. I'm sorry, I don't know the name right now. I will find the name and I will post here. And he has this videos on TikTok where he is literally saying, here's the good news that you might have missed. And he gives you daily good news you might have missed through the world, or monthly good news through the world that you have missed. And that I love that there's probably a lot of other people as well. I know there's not only one person doing that out there, but I've seen him a lot where he's like, here's the news, or here is amazing news for the LGBT or the animals of the world, or the climate, or a special country or something. Like, he is like doing a really good job by finding positive news that's happening around the world. And every time I see him on my For You page, no matter what social media, I stop and watch it to just get that tiny little sniff of good news in the world. So I agree, but I agree with James, and I agree with Banshee as well. You know, which is it's just a difficult debate. James, I get that, but I don't want to bring a child into a scary world. And that's totally fine, Banshee. That's totally fine. You don't have to do anything you don't want to, you know? I'm going for now, Nurk. I'm going to chill with my partner. Sounds perfect, Banshee. Thank you for being open and honest today. I really, really appreciate it. I always appreciate everyone's input. So thank you. Please go and enjoy some well-deserved time with your partner, Banshee. I agree that people have many reasons for having or not having children in today's world. But I will say that when a relationship is formed, it should be discussed within the first year of the relationship about childbirth. 100% Ken. 100%. It should not be like a super late wait 7 years and then have the discussion. I think as soon as you and your partner are agreeing on this is getting serious, this is getting more serious, that this is a serious relationship now, have the talk. You never know. Nothing is 100% safe, and if people are sexually active, it can happen. So as soon as you realize that this is a serious relationship, have the talk. Do we want to get married? Do we not want to get married? Do we want to have children? Do we not want to have children? Where do we want to live? Where do I not want to live? What do I want to do? What do I not want to do? Having these talks is so important. And that is totally valid. I know that I have the drive and I've been raised well. There are people that are ready to be a parent and people that aren't. 100%, James, as well. 100%. And for me, it's very weird as well because I have not been raised well. As I said earlier in the podcast as well, I love my dad. I have an amazing relationship with my dad now. As an adult, I have an amazing relationship with my dad. My dad is amazing. I wouldn't want any other dad in the whole world. But I know that child Nurk do not agree with me. Because he was struggling with his mental health and his depression during a good chunk of my childhood and teenage years. But now that he has gotten help and he has, I don't want to say become better because that's not, I don't like that word, but now that he has grown and learned to understand his mental health more, we have an amazing relationship. But my childhood and teenage Nurk don't agree with that. But my adult life or my adult Nurk love my dad, you know? He's continuing his journey about himself. Yeah, he is. And I've said this before as well on stream. I am a foster child with me and my two younger brothers. Foster child. With my two younger brothers. And it's a very weird feeling. And I've had this discussion with my dad as well. It's a very weird discussion because we both agree that the best thing that happened was for us to go in a foster home, because then he had the time to focus on himself, and him having that time to focus on himself, growing as a human, growing as a human in this world, then growing as a parent, and have that time to do that properly without the extra layer of what 4 kids did. My oldest brother is not in a foster home because he lived with his mom, which is a different mom, so he's a half sibling. But having that difference, I think, did a lot. It did so much for my dad, and I don't know if I wanted it any other way, which is very weird. It's a very weird sentence because it's like he needed to not be a full-time dad to become an amazing dad for us now. And that it's a very weird path, and it's a very weird way to look at life, but I 100% wouldn't want it any other way as well. So and I think that's also important to know, you know, do we want kids? Do we not want kids? How will it look 10 years now? Like, how will it be? And I'm also very honest because I have said that, do you want kids not at all, or do you not want kids right now? Because now that people are young and out having fun and can do trips and vacations and like living the life, people might say, I don't want kids. And then I am very honest with, okay, but then what happens when you are 50 or 60? Because then, you know, there is another life. Like, imagine your life 10 years from now, imagine your life 20 years from now, imagine your life 30 years from now. How would that look as well? I'm just imagining a little nerd drinking Red Bull and running around. Listen, that's basically what I did. I was a shit kid. I had my reasons, obviously. I'm not ashamed of saying that there was definitely reasons that made me be a shit kid. But I've also struggled with depressions for years. I still struggle with depression. And my biggest struggle is that I am struggling, learning, growing to understand that I might have a depression for the rest of my life, and I have to figure out, how do I cope with that depression and not thinking that I want to get rid of that depression. And that's for me, that's a very big struggle, because in my brain, I want to get rid of it. And then when somebody else says it, I'm like, yeah, but is that how that works? And that's a big one for me. But yeah, I was a little shit kid, I'm not gonna lie. I've thought on the next mental health issue we could discuss the rate of suicide in young males has grown drastically, and the argument is a change of society and how men have lost their place in society and don't know their roles anymore, such as the male breadwinner, the father, head of the family, and more. I think it's a very heavy discussion, and it's very two-sided, I feel like. I think it's not necessarily that men have, and I'm also very aware that I'm speaking as a female, as a woman. I'm born a woman. I feel like a woman. I'm probably 100% going to be a woman for the rest of my life. But I've had a lot of topics with this because since I am not a man, I want to learn how it is and understand how it is. And what I feel and have listened to what other people is saying, for me, it feels like a lot of us are trying to grow a society where we are saying you as a man can be whatever you want to be. But then there is still push from society that still gives men the feeling of having to be strong, of having to not be able to cry, don't have feelings, gotta be strong, gotta be the breadwinner, and that is what's crashing. Is my thoughts of that I don't know if it's the society changing the roles. I just think that the roles that we are trying to push, that you can be whatever you want to be, and then there's a big part of the society that still pushes like, no, you have to be a strong man, and men don't cry, and men don't have feelings, and we go out and shoot stuff, and blah, 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 blah. And those two are conflicting. You know, that's a very different conflicting feeling. Somebody's telling you that you're allowed to have feelings and you're allowed to do what you want, and then society comes and like knock you from the other side and says, no, you can't. And I think that's what's really, really conflicting with the whole thing. But again, I want to preference really well. I don't want to talk for any man. This is just what I have felt is been said when I've talked to both teenagers, my partner, my dad, and my brothers. So, but I want to specify that I am not the answer of anything. This is just what I have felt, like what I've heard of the people around me. Because I don't want to step on any toes, because we all have different understandings of this, and it could probably also be almost from a person to person as well. One man can say this and then another one can say that. Like, for me, it's almost like if you've heard one opinion, you've heard one opinion, kind of. It's very hard to tell if you want kids or not before you're in the position to support them. Like, I wouldn't actually know unless I'm married, have my own house, and my financial stable, which is still years and years away. And I also see that a lot, Sino, because I think that's what we are kind of grow up to be. That, oh, you have to be financially stable, you have to have a house, you have to have a car, you have to be married, you have to be stable, you have to blah, 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 everything. But I think that in this society, I don't think that waiting until everything is stable and everything is financial and everything is perfect, then have a child. I don't think that exists anymore. That's my opinion, though. I don't think that exists. I am not a Christian. I don't believe in anything, but I kind of like the saying, if you want to make God laugh, make plans. And if you don't want to say God, say the universe. You know, if you want to make the universe laugh, make plans. And I think that's a very correct way, because I think a lot of times when people get the feeling of now everything is starting to go correct, then boom, something hits you. And then you get out of there and now everything goes, and then boom, something else happens. But that's my opinion. I don't think that having that fully stable, that maybe my parents' generations, I don't want to say my parents because they weren't, but their generation could be much more stable before kids. And I don't think my generation, I'm born in 1995, just to give you guys a reference of how old I am, and the younger generation, I don't think that stable family, home, and kids, I don't think that's a plausible thing anymore. But women roles have also changed. Yeah, 100%. We also changed a lot. That it's different roles now as well. I am a feminist. I'm a very proud feminist, but I also I know I have opinions that a lot of women don't agree. And my strongest opinion, and I think is actually a very strong opinion as a feminist, is you as a woman are allowed to do what you want to do. If you want to get married, if you want to have babies, if you want to have your White House picket fence, you are allowed to do that. You go and do that. If you're happy and you're in a safe relationship, you go, you do, girl. But if you want to, push all the other way, if you want to cut your hair and not shave and bra and burn it and do completely something else, you are allowed to do that as well. And if you want to do something in the middle, that maybe most of us do, that's fine too. It's having the right to choose what women want. You don't have to be on the one side or the other side. If you are truly happy and you love your life and you're in a safe relationship and a safe place and you want to get married and you want to do what we like, do that, you do that. And it's a very true statement, Laura. It's having the right to choose what that women want, what that lady wants, what that person wants. That we can fight the feminist fight while making cakes or changing a diaper or burning our bras or shaving our heads. We can do that, everyone together, It's old generation versus new generation, and both ideals are on two different extremes. Yes, I agree, James. I agree. I think a middle thing between the old generation and the new generation, finding that middle thing is correct. I've read, this might be a little bit boring. This is what I think is very fascinating. But I've read that usually it goes from a generation to generation. So the generation that are, at least my parents' generation, are the parents who comes in the 70s, who were teenagers in the 70s and the 60s and 70s, and experienced the whole power, love, power, free power, the whole let's get stoned in the garden and smoke weed, right? Like the full-on 60s, 70s where everything is love and we can have, like basically Hair, the musical Hair, like that's where they've grown up, and they are growing up with parents who have been stern, the parents from the 40s and 50s. So they grow up and then will become the flower children, right? The 60s and 70s parents. Then the 80s came and the 90s came, and there is a full AIDS pandemic, basically, at least in like a lot of countries. There was much more harder drugs. It wasn't weed and LSD, it was much harder drugs came out. And then the generation that maybe is a little bit before me, maybe me, is then growing up to have really stern parents because, we have to fix it. And then my generation will then maybe start and be like, do whatever you want. Basically the flower children without maybe the weed, or with. And I think I definitely see it. It's been studies that it's also showing that the generations are changing from like the one extreme to the next extreme, which is why we have the terms. I don't know if you guys have this term in English, curling parents, helicopter parents, maybe, where the parents are trying to make sure that everything is perfect for their children because they grow up with parents who like don't give a fuck. They were like enjoying life, smoking weed, and just like, no, let you do it and you do you. And then they grow up with so much feeling of not having anything, so they want to like make sure that their kid again have everything. And that's, we call it curling parents in Norway. Yes, helicopter. So I don't know if you guys know curling. It's where they're on the ice. It's an ice ring, and then you push. It's a thick, heavy rock that you push, and you are supposed to hit it further down the line. And then you have these people who stands super close in front of the rock that they're throwing, and then you have them standing super and like try to smooth the ice with this thing really, really well, so it will glide longer and hit stuff. And that's why we call it curling parents. because they are like trying to push everything away, so there will be nothing in between. There won't be any ups or downs. Everything will go perfect. That's why we call it curling parents, but I think it's like basically helicopter parents. Like they're trying to push everything away. It should be perfect for them. Guide them without touching it. Yes, with like a soft thing. I can show later. If you're watching on YouTube, I will show a picture. I will show a YouTube thing here as well. I have trauma for seeing my 8-month-old sister die when I was 7, and she was born with a terminal health issue and also was poorly when I was born. So I don't want to risk going through that trauma again with my own, especially if I could pass something on. I put my love and support in trying to help friends and family as much as I can, and that's where my love goes. And that is 100% okay, Laura. That is 100% okay, and that is your choice. And the only person who needs to be okay with that choice is you. Maybe a partner, if you end up with a partner, if you have a partner, you know, like often a partner also have to agree, but at the end of the day, you are the one who have to be okay with it, nobody else. And if it's, and I'm not saying this to sound weird, I'm saying it because if it's enough for you, 100%, then it's enough for you. Then nobody else has anything to do with that, you know? If it's enough for you, perfect. If you need more, fine. What do you need? But the only person who needs to like be okay with it is you, and then, as I said, maybe a partner as well. I agree, but what is the discussion in the first year? I say we'll address, yes, I want a child, but I want the house, a career, finance. No, 100% can. Like, wanting a child doesn't necessarily has to mean now, you know? You can have a conversation with your partner when you're 24, but that doesn't mean you get the kid until you're 34, you know? You can still have 10 years of enjoying life and having fun and getting drunk and doing stupid stuff, and then slowly becoming stable adult, and then be like, okay, let's see if we want a child, you know? But it's still important that, because there are people at a young age who know if they don't want kids. And if they don't want kids, then they need to say that. You know what? I know I don't want kids right now, but I want kids in the future. And knowing, okay, what do we do? So that's the conversation I think about. It's having the right to choose. Yes, it's trying to have to choose what the women want. It's like a pendulum where every generation sees the fall for those who came before them and create new issues when trying to fix them. So yes. I know I say 100% a lot in this podcast, but you guys are having such good points that I'm just like, yes, I agree. I 100% agree. And it just keeps bouncing from one to another. Yes, from one extreme to the other extreme, from one extreme to the other extreme. Helicopter parents, yes. Guiding the rock without touching it. It always looks super funny to me. I mean, I love curling, but curling is a big thing in Norway. It has been a big thing in Norway. So I think it's very funny to see them. And especially the Norwegian curling team had really cool pants on as the curling team. So they looked like clowns, which just made it more funny. Are we British now? Scotland is a part of UK and our world and Olympic champions in curling. Yes, exactly. Which is very, very. I think it's very fun. There are ways for us to try curling in Norway as well. It would be very cool. I would love to try curling one day. I really would. Okay. Let's do. I kind of on a lighter note, that was. Yes, that's 100%. I love that we started talking a little bit about curlings, a little palate cleansing, just a little turnaround. We have been recording for over an hour now, which is crazy. So I just want to end on not going from super heavy to like something else, but I really want to thank you guys for having this discussion with me, and I really want to thank you guys for being open and telling your stories. And I'm also very proud that this was an open conversation and it was able for us to talk about stuff and telling personal stuff with it out becoming, oh, look at me, I have this, oh, look at me, I have this, oh, look at me, I have this. It didn't turn into a competition. It was just an open, honest conversation about personal experiences, and I am very proud of all of us that we could have that open discussion and not having like to fight who has who has everything, you know? So I just want to thank you guys for that. That's really, really cool. And I'm very, very proud of this community that we could do that. The dual of the chat is awesome. How we can have normal stream the way they are, and this discussion the way they are. Which is why I also love that I am doing this podcast, and I am like pushing the podcast a little bit, because we have had so many great conversations, and then a lot of us have kind of like pushed it and joked it a little bit away, which is totally fine. It's totally fine. Let's push it away. Let's joke about it, because we need jokes and we need laughter, right? But we've had so good discussions, which is why I've been like, oh, I think we would do great with the podcast. And then Banshee, Charlie, some other, Maleficent, some of you were like, do a podcast. And then I did, and then it's like turning into this great discussion of different topics, which I'm just like in awe of. So I really love that. I think what we are gonna do next time is we are definitely gonna try to have a little more happy topic, like a little fun topic. We could, if you guys have any suggestions to what kind of topics we can do, let me know, or let me know in the Discord to what kind of fun topics we could have. Just a little bit fun, so it's not always just like heavy topics. Maybe some summer topics. What's fun to do? What do we do in summer? What's normal in different countries? Maybe some tips, like top 2 tips from my country of what you can do. You know, like, here's my 2 tips of stuff you can do in Norway, or here's my 2 tips you can do in England, or here's my 2 tips in Brazil, or in America, or in all the other countries we're from, and like have a little like topic about what's fun to do in the summertime. That could be fun. Just like a little bit one. So many different perspectives too, because we're so different from different sort of lessons. Yeah, 100%, which is why it's very fun, or not fun, but it's very interesting to have conversations like this. A lighter topic before we talk about murder in a few weeks. Exactly. A lighter topic before we talk about murder. 100%. We are having, I'm going to say your full name in chat here, True Crime Girl TTV, aka TC, or aka Laura. We are going to have her on the podcast as our first guest, which I'm very, 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 very excited about. That is going to be the topic with, of course, true crime. So I am gathering some true crime from Norway, because we do have some true crime stories of Norway. We have a couple actually that's very, very interesting. And I'm excited to hear what true crime is saying. I'm excited to see what you guys in the chat will maybe ask about what we're talking about and stuff. So I think that could be, even though it's might be a little bit heavy because it's true crime, I think it still can be fun with quotation mark. I think it'd be very interesting, to be honest. So yeah, I'm very excited about that as well. Okay, let me say my goodbye to YouTube, to my recording, and then we can jump on over back to our normal. Oh look, here's a little kitty. Do you want to be a little kitty cleanser? Where did she go? Maybe. I was hoping she would come. We could have her as a little kitty cleanser. Yes. Here you go, kitty. Oh, it's okay. This is a little kitty. Yeah, kitty cat is the first guest. This is a kitty cat. Hello, this is our first guest. Her name is Valborg. She looks like she hates this. She is, I love you, please don't go. She doesn't like this very much. This is not her favorite thing at all in the world. But oh, thank you for showing me your butt. That's very nice of you. How nice. Thank you. I love that. Yes, thank you for showing me. Yes, thank you. Oh, that's so nice. Thank you. Oh yeah, thank you. Thank you for showing me your butt. That's very kind. Oh my god, she almost lay down. If you guys don't know, maybe from the podcast, but she never jumps up here. She almost lay down. Does the cat understand you in English and Norwegian? I don't think so. I usually talk to her in Norwegian, and she knows her name, so I can say Valborg, and you can see her ears moving and reacting. But she's not like she meows a lot. She makes a lot of sounds, but it's not like in a chatty way, you know. So I don't think she would understand something if I would say something in English. Like, if her food bowl was empty and I said, "Oh, do you want any food?" I don't think she would react. I think she would react more if I say, "Ah, vill du ha mat? Er du sulten? Skal vi finne fôr?" Which is basically me asking, "Do you want food?" in Norwegian. But she's a very like meowy cat, so it's almost like we understand each other by meowing. Are you such a cuddly cat today? You're never a cuddly cat. Oh my god. Great chats, opinions, and not a bit of negativity. GG to one and all. 100 GG to one and all. How long have you had her? We have had her for 10 years. So she is, it's very fun because she is born just a half year after me and Krusty, my partner, got together. And we've been together for 10 and a half years. So she's 10 years old. So she is hopefully just halfway through her life, hopefully. As long as she's not getting sick or anything like that. Hopefully. I don't think so. She's such a outdoor wildcat, so she would love it. Yes, I love her. Is she meow bilingual? 100%, 100%. So we've had her for 10 years. We got her when she was a kitty, a little baby kitty. So she's very, very, we love her. She is a diva, but that's on me because I named her Valborg. And if you are Norwegian, you will know why. Valborg is a very famous character from very famous movies in Norway. And she is a diva with a D-I-V-A. So it's my fault that I named her after the biggest diva of Norway. That's on me. That's on me. But we love her, and I don't know what I would do without her. And so is Krusty. Even though we sometimes meow back, she has a very special meow. She has a very piercing sound, so she tries to sound like her mom. Isn't that right, little kitty cat? Huh? Isn't that right? Do you wanna say goodbye, and then we can let you down? Huh? And she also lets me do a lot. Huh? I am technically allergic as well, so I shouldn't do this. You want to go down? Oh my god. She's gorgeous. I love her. I just want to make sure to not touch my face right now because I'm allergic. I'm allergic to both cats and dogs. I have 2 dogs and a cat, and I'm allergic to them all. But it's totally fine. Okay, let me say my goodbye to YouTube and the recording, and then we can jump on over. Maybe we'll actually take a little BRB so I can wash my hands just because I touched her. And then we can go back to our normal programming, you know. So yes, if you have been watching this on YouTube, I thank you so freaking much. This is something very different than what we normally do on stream. I am usually much louder, we are usually much crazier, but as you can see, we are a touch me instead. Yes, exactly, we are a community of insane people, sometimes horny insane people, but we are also a community who supports each other and just show all the freaking love to each other. So this is definitely a community you can be yourself in, I promise you. I have all my links in my YouTube bio. If you are live here right now, you can also check out everything here on my links. And thank you guys for watching this podcast, and thank you guys for joining the podcast and discussion. To everyone who has joined the discussion and talk today, thank you. This was so amazing. This is our longest podcast so far, so thank you for an amazing discussion and an amazing podcast episode. I am so blessed, and I'm so like, you guys are awesome.